It's your boy.
So as you guys probably know by now, Karlos Williams is no longer a member of the Buffalo Bills organization. They said this move was a strictly performance-based release, mainly because he was overweight. You know, I think he was around 35 to 40 pounds more than he was supposed to be. I think he's like 260, 265, when he's supposed to be around 220. That is a big difference, y'all, especially for a running back. So that is a big reason why they would let him go. And also because he is suspended for the first 4 games of this season. I believe that's also due to a marijuana-related incident, similar to Marcell Dareus' suspension, which I will get into a little bit later in this video. I don't really like the fact that we released him. I don't totally hate it like I've seen a lot of people totally hating it. There are people saying that, wow, he's going to be the next Marshawn Lynch. And if you guys don't know, the Buffalo Bills used to have Marshawn Lynch, and we traded him to Seattle for a 4th-round pick, and you guys obviously know what Marshawn Lynch went on to do. So someone is definitely going to pick up Karlos Williams. He'll serve his 4-game suspension, and he'll come back. I mean, last year he had like 9 touchdowns in 11 games or something like that. I know he scored in his first like 6 or 7 straight for a rookie, which was a record, which is absolutely crazy. But I don't think it's a coincidence that he was released on the same day Marcell Dareus admitted or announced that he was going to be going to rehab. People, I totally think Marcell Dareus going to rehab is a publicity stunt, a PR move, and it's done on the same day. They're both weed-related. He is suspended for having weed, and I'm pretty sure Karlos Williams is suspended for having weed. I think the Bills are trying to set a precedence. They're trying to put a mind frame into the rest of their players that they are not tolerating this. I think it was a planned move that Marcell Dareus is going to check himself into rehab. Hopefully he'll be back by the time week 5 rolls around when his suspension is up. I hope he doesn't miss the entire year. People don't go to rehab for weed. Weed, if you do not know, is a non-addictive drug. People who go to rehab for, you know, things like cocaine, heroin, meth, and many other drugs, but much worse drugs than weed. And so I really think this is not something Marcell Dareus really wants to do, but it's a good look for him to show that he really wants to be better, you know, that he's trying to change. And his press conference that he had immediately following the announcement of his suspension, I was actually there filming for Time Warner Cable, and the thing he was stressing a lot was that, you know, my actions gotta speak louder than words. I can say whatever I want to you guys today at this press conference, but my actions are gonna speak louder than my words, and so I gotta show up, and I can't really say anything else other than that. I did respect that standpoint, because he is right. If he was just saying, you know, the typical, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, stop doing this, I gotta hang out with a better crowd, blah, 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 who's actually gonna believe him? You know, that's the 2nd time he's being suspended. So I think this is definitely a PR move. I don't really think he needs to go to rehab, especially for weed, and I don't think that it's not a coincidence it happened on the same day as Karlos Williams being released. Now, as for the game yesterday and my thoughts on the game, we won that game 21-0. Our defense showed up. Eli Manning, I think he only found Odell Beckham 1 time. That's supposed to be one of the best receivers in the league. We got the 2 dreaded-headed monster with Ronald Darby, and we got Stephon Gilmore shutting them down. That was real great. And our offense was moving the ball, and more specifically, I really, really liked what I saw from our red zone offense. We scored all 3 of our touchdowns were scored in the red zone. Williams, number 40, he got a touchdown, he ran in. Tyrod Taylor slang the rock to Shady McCoy, and he got a nice one. And then EJ Manuel tossed it up to Greg Little in the back corner of the end zone. All really great, because our red zone offense, I think, was one of the last in the league. I think we were like 31st in like the times we get down there, and then our scoring offense in the red zone was like 24th out of the 32 teams in the league. So it was really, really great to see our offense be able to capitalize once we get down to that end of the field, because that is something we highly, highly struggled at last year. I was asked this on one of my last videos if I prefer EJ Manuel or Cardale Jones. Cardale Jones looked really great in the first game of the preseason, and he looked, you know, pretty solid yesterday too. But I think at this point, like for this season, I still rather have EJ as the backup quarterback. He's simply just more He knows more of our offense. He knows the Bills better. He's not as much of a raw prospect as Cardale Jones. But I think Cardale Jones has a higher ceiling than E.J. Manuel. This will most likely be E.J. Manuel's last year on the Buffalo Bills. This is his. The Bills could pick up a fifth-year option, but I just don't think we're going to do it, especially now that we have Cardale Jones. And he is showing promise. He just needs... he just needs to sit on the bench for a year, learn the NFL, learn the system, refine some of his techniques and some of his mechanics, learn our offense a little bit more, and then he can go out there and be a solid backup quarterback. Because I don't think he's going to surpass Tyrod Taylor, especially when he signed a $92 million contract still. But just to recap, I'm not thrilled with the Carlos Williams releasing, but I do understand it. Marcell Dareus, I think that whole thing is a publicity stunt, him going to rehab. I mean, I'm sorry, if I am wrong, I'm going to feel terrible about it, but I really, really don't believe it. But the whole thing is, though, like we won yesterday, if we keep on winning as an organization, we are a successful team this year, all these off-field distractions, they won't mean anything. People won't remember these off-field distractions. Winning cures all. Winning will... it will erase all of this. So if we keep winning, like we did yesterday, I mean, this won't be that big of a deal, but I mean, we do got a lot of off-field distractions, and we also do have a bunch of injuries on our defensive front. So hopefully we can rebound from all of that.